Oh, boy. Brooks and Dunn, Beer 30, Kicks 105.5. Good morning.
I also like Beer 45, Beer 15.
Top of the hour.
Yeah. Oh, top of the hour, man. Woo! No turning back from that.
Oh, so, as we have good policies coming in every Wednesday, Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency, we have just a quick moment together before we actually go on air. And I always
Thank goodness it's quick.
what are we talking about this time around? And generally he goes, well, we're going to discuss insurance from the perspective of seniors or something. And I go, oh, very interesting. And we go on that topic, or we just start talking about, our lives, and we get onto something about insurance at some point. This morning he says, oh, we're going to talk about something very, very exciting, a new law for oil tanks. I'm sorry, but your idea of very exciting and mine must differ greatly, because I'm still trying to find that energy to find oil tanks. Ooh, What is so important about oil tanks? There's a new law coming.
There is a new law, and it's interesting because this
is just for oil, or is
this is for oil?
For tanks in general, propane,
oil, kerosene. If you have what I consider to be an oil tank, whether it's oil or kerosene, this is a law that is of July 1st in Vermont will be taking effect. And I have propane at the house.
I do too.
And I don't have an outdoor tank, and it really applies to outdoor tanks. This is the first press I've seen of it.
Now, does this have anything? I don't even know what this is, by the way. But
sure.
But does this have anything to do with things like last year there was a sheet of ice that came off like the Miss Lindenville Diner, sheared their tank, and caused a potential hazard? Mm-hmm. Does it have to do with having like a covering, an awning, or having it secure?
Interestingly enough, that's not part of it.
Really?
At least what I've seen. And I've just barely saw it last night, and I read about it quickly last night and briefed myself again this morning.
And this only entails if it's on the outside,
right?
Not on the inside.
Right. The biggest things is that they're going to require these tanks to be on a foundation. And after July 1st, if an oil tank is not on a foundation, if it's on cinder blocks or
dirt,
any other setups,
it's on dirt.
What's going to happen is the oil company cannot deliver to you. They cannot fill that tank.
Wow.
Now, the interesting part about it...
But that gives you the whole summer you can put a pad down. Am I right about saying that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're going to put a pad down. Now, if I want to put a pad down on my home, can I just go and get some cement, do a little block, put it on there, and then put my tank on there if I choose to? Or do I have to hire a professional like a contractor when it comes to being insured by yourself or anybody else?
I honestly don't think there's a requirement that you can't, you have to hire it out. It just has to meet their guidelines.
And that is?
And that is that it's right here. Let me just pull it back up.
It has to be so many feet wide. It has to be so much depth in the cement itself.
Yeah, so it has to obviously protect it from being a tip hazard, which is the biggest thing. So requiring a foundation, properly sized vents, has to be in good shape with no leaks, drips, cracks, corrosion. Has to have a whistle to indicate that they are full during fueling, and lines running into the home have to be properly protected. Now, the rules impact everyone who had their kerosene or home heating tanks installed before 2011. Of course, does not impact propane tanks. Now, the interesting part is if there's a spill, the state typically will pick up a $25,000 cost to do that, the state of Vermont. Mm-hmm. If you're an oil company delivering somebody who doesn't have a properly installed tank, guess who's picking up that $25,000?
The oil.
No, the oil company.
The oil company.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why they say, now, if you don't have this, we're just not going to deliver because we don't want to be responsible.
Right. So that's a nice long 4-minute kind of overview of what the state law is as of July 1st. Now, why did I find it interesting? We've been enforcing having this set up, at least the cement pad setup,
for 2 or 3 years now.
10 years.
Oh, good.
The entire 10 years I've been in this business, so probably longer than that. And the reason being is insurance companies don't want a tip hazard. They don't want to spill. They don't want to have a liability exposure because pollution is a nasty thing. So it's one of those things, and we see this quite often in insurance, where sometimes we'll come in as the bad guy. And we'll go, hey, really want to help you here, but we can't do it because of this. Well, the state doesn't tell me I have to do that. I totally understand that. I respect that. But
And now they are.
the companies tell me that that's the only way I can submit business to them,
Right.
and now the state's kind of catching up. So other things that I've seen this happen to would include things like hardwired smoke detectors in rental properties. That's something that we've enforced forever.
I have that, and I'm a renter.
Yeah, so that's something that now the state has caught up with a number of years ago. But there's probably 4 or 5 things that I could think of if I sat down for a moment and just kind of thought of things that were exposures that I couldn't touch before that are now state mandated. So even interestingly enough, I went to a property the other day. Mortgagees are starting to require certain things.
Right.
You know,
they don't
so
want the loss of investment. I totally understand that.
So somebody had a shared flue of a wood stove and an oil furnace in the same chimney, and their mortgagee said, "We will not fund this loan until that's been corrected." I'm like, "Great! I don't have to be the bad guy this
You
time."
don't have to be it.
Because believe me, that's my biggest challenge is to see that set up.
Now, are we going to read more about this over the next couple of months? Will it be big news? Is it something that, as a homeowner, something will go out, or is the only way that we get informed about these things is when you come in and give us this information?
I am the
information
announcer
kiosk.
or the killer of fun is what I prefer to be known as. I actually have a business card that I'm going to get printed up that says the killer of fun. No trampoline for you. Put a fence around that pool. I'm the killer of fun. I got this from WCAX. It was a story last night that they had on the news, and then I just happened to read more about it on Facebook this morning, or
And
last
it has
night rather.
to do
and again this
directly
morning.
with your business and what we talk about.
I just found it very interesting that the state is now mandating it, whereas insurance companies, because one of the things for oil tanks and kerosene tanks that we definitely don't like to see is we don't like to see them on sides of that are not gable ends of homes. So if you have that tank on I'm surprised that's not part of this, because it really should be on the gable end, because there's no pitched roof, there's no possibility of ice falling off the roof and causing problems.
You watch. Next year, we'll be talking about this. There's going to be a new law taking into effect where you got to have a roof. Okay, if you want to know more about this law, or you want to find out, if you're in compliance and you need to have somebody to sit down and talk to because whoever you have for insurance isn't doing it for you, Mike Barrett, Barrett Insurance Agency, you can buzz him up at
748-5224. Visit our website. It's thebarrettagency.com. We're on Facebook, Google+, and YouTube as Barrett Insurance Agency.
Look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.
Have a great week.
And you're going to put this on Facebook, right?
Sure. If you,
No, I'm not saying our conversation. I'm saying the little blurb about the thing.
I'm going to link the story. Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.